So what do you think about all that shit with Alex?
Hey everybody, this is Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man. And if you want to get your money's worth, stay right here because you're listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts. And remember, everybody's got a price in the $1 Million Man.
This is Don West here, and I'm telling you, Knockouts and 3 Counts is the podcast, baby! Make sure that's the one you check out, because, buddy, like me, they're the real deal, baby!
This is Jake the Snake Roberts. Just letting you know, you need to listen to Knockouts and 3 Counts, or you'll see that damn snake again.
This is the Ring of Honor World Television Champion, a.k.a. Shane T, boy, the baddest champion you ever seen, boy. And you're listening to Knockouts and 3 Count.
What up, though, everybody? This is Kyle, and you are listening to Knockouts and 3 Counts. As you can see, I'm not solo here in the studio tonight. Tony Thunder should be calling in a little bit. But without further ado, let me get to our guest. We got a guy in studio with us here today who you've heard on the show. We had him on with Alex Sky a little while ago at BCWA and all that kind of good stuff. We got Kash in with us. How you doing, brother, man?
Oh, man, we out here.
Well, let them know where they can find you at, man. You got social medias, all that good stuff, for places where they can find your work.
Facebook, man. Working on the Twitter thing. You know, I'm kind of old school, so Twitter and Instagram really not my thing, man.
I get you.
But I should probably get up on it, definitely.
You know, I would highly recommend that. But
yeah.
So with that being said, you can find me at Twitter and Instagram at Detroit Knockout, at Detroit NOKOUT. Make sure you're following the show at KO3C Pod on Twitter and Instagram. KO3CPod.com. You can see the whole back catalog of our episodes. You can see interviews with Booker T. You can see him with Bruce Pritchard. You can see him with Eric Bischoff. You can see him with Jimmy Jacobs and Congo Kong and whoever the hell you want. We've got a whole list of them. Check them all out at KO3CPod.com. With that being said, man, also make sure you're watching the show, Knockouts and 3 Counts podcast on Facebook and Knockouts and 3 Counts on YouTube. Now that I got all that shit out of the way.
Man, that was a lot. I need to get something like that.
Blah, 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 blah,
I need to
blah.
get something like that.
Feel like a motor mouth for a minute.
I need to get that list there.
You know, we're trying out here, man. But hopefully we're gonna have some more of the guys on here with us in a minute. But without any further ado, let's get to our guest. So the first time we interviewed you, it was at one of the BCWA shows. You were still part of the Hustle and Muscle tag team with Alex Sky.
Yes.
Since then, you know, we've been seeing you more on a singles run in BCWA. So first of all, tell us what's been going on with you since the last time we brought you on, man. What's going on with you in the wrestling world?
You know, obviously Alex Sky she's out there doing her thing. You know, shout out to her. I mean, congrats. You know, she's getting shots like it's nobody's business. So go ahead, girl, go ahead. But yeah, man. You know, after me and her split, it pretty much broke down to I had to get him a singles thing. You know, I was used to the tag thing. You know, I always went back to tag. I was always a tag team wrestler. So this singles element is a little different for me, no doubt about that. But you know, we're here. You know, we're trying it out. You know, I had this past Saturday had a excellent match with Adam Wick. You
did,
which man, dude. Let me tell you, that boy kick hard. That's for sure. You know, much respect to him and his crew. You know, no doubt.
So now that you've been running the singles for a little minute now, you know, I mean, is that something, are you enjoying the singles run since you said you're primarily tags, or like, how do you feel about it?
You know, I am enjoying this little singles run I got going here. It's fun. It's nice to have the spotlight on just me, you know, which is kind of different for me, but hey, here we are on a podcast. But I like it, and I'm looking forward to keep pushing through and my biggest thing is just building up my cardio. You know, if anybody knows anything about wrestling, tag wrestling, you know, you get a break sometimes, you know, but man, in that singles, you always getting something going on, man. You always got to be on your toes. And I just seen that this past Saturday with Wick. So yeah, definitely got some things to improve on, things to do, and step my game up for sure if I want to do this singles.
So let's take it back a little bit. What was it that got you into wrestling in the first place?
Oh, man. Like, actually, coincidentally, Bruce Pritchard just did a podcast on the Royal Rumble, man.
I just listened to that. Which one? Royal Rumble 90?
90, when, Hogan and Warrior, that first touch, man, that electricity, that excitement right there of that first touch building up all the way to, WrestleMania was at 6, right? Yeah.
Yes, sir, it was. It was the one at the Sky Dome.
I remembered recording it as a child and running out of tape, missed the finish of the match and everything. I was quite disappointed. And that's what, at first I was into boxing. I really liked boxing, and boxing was cool. But
who were some of the guys you were watching there? Because as we cover MMA and boxing too.
I was a Tyson fan. I liked Tyson a lot growing up, but then I watched the Tyson Holyfield fight, and that's what really pushed me away from boxing. I mean, I stayed up all night, man, waiting for this fight, this big build-up for this fight, and then got, nothing out of it. No payoff, man. I was so mad. I had to be up early for school the next day, and this and that, and it's just like, wow. Boxing disappointed me, but wrestling never let me down. Wrestling, there was always a payoff. There was always something that brought me back to it, So wrestling was just always that entertainment factor brought me to wrestling.
So what was it that made you decide, hey, this is something that I want to do? Like, was it anything in particular? And tell me about your start.
I was just like every other kid, boy, just messing around with my friends, wrestling and on mats in a backyard, and stuff like that. And believe it or not, a lot of people you may know came from where I started, where I came from, a backyard in Warren, Michigan, or in Hazel Park somewhere, great guys like Orlando Christopher, great guys like the Dread King Logan, I had Chase Burnett come through there a couple of times, had Jay Miller come through there, great people, all came from
a lot of those guys
backyard.
Are past guests of the show.
Right, so a lot of these cats, we all grew up together, so how can you not follow in your friends' footsteps and want to, join them in their expedition on life and be there with them, man, So we all started in a place called UWF, coincidentally, got a show this Saturday for a place called UWF. And, we started backyard wrestling, and life came about. We all went our separate ways, and then all of a sudden BCWA, I remember seeing a video online of Greg Valentine in a backyard ring tossing Bill Martell and Matthew Priest around. Yeah, and actually Elijah Burke, when he came through BCWA, threw a little story at us about Taker and a bunch of other cats watching that video in the back, laughing about it, and just like, wow, look at Valentine, really doing it up, but. And that's the first time I ever came across BCWA, and I went to a show, and that show, Logan was there, Zane Silver, Chase Burnett was there, Atlas Hightower was there, people like this, and the second I walked in, I was like, wow, this is something that I need to get into, and I got involved with BCWA, and at the time, that was a cliche thing to do, but I got in through there, and that's where I started in BCWA.
So from the sounds of things, man, I've always kind of got this vibe from you, from the matches that I've seen, that, you've kind of always been like that underdog role, man. You've always kind of got the crowd, they're always waiting to see you win, man.
Yeah, but that's something that it literally came along with my life. Not the biggest guy. Anybody can look.
Welcome
to this
to
day,
my world.
Right, man. To this day, I'll be in a ring and hear somebody, hey, eat a cheeseburger, you're skinny, and this and that. But at the same note, I'm in that ring doing it and doing it damn well. And this cat's yelling at me from the sidelines. So, I can't really be too upset about it.
Well, just to piggyback off of that, like, we had Matthew Priest on the show last week.
Great guy.
So we were talking about that, and we had talked about the fact that you were coming on this week, and he was telling me, he was like, from the time he started, he was like, everybody knew that you were talented. They knew, like, hey, this guy, he's rough around the edges, but he could be, he could be good with the potential he's got. So that's kind of where I get that underdog vibe from, because it just from the way that Priest was explaining it, So it's kind of cool, heading into UWF this weekend, which will be in Indiana. Let them know. We got a caller.
Go ahead, Tony.
Oh shit! It's Tony Thunder.
T Thunder.
That's me.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Tony, throw your social medias out in a little bit.
My social media is I'm Tony Thunder everywhere. Google that shit
Everywhere.
or look for
All
me
the
somewhere.
time.
Nobody remember everything. If it's okay, at Tony _.
Hey,
like,
dude, he
no,
just
just
rambled it
Tony
off a
Thunder.
minute ago, man. He had it on point. He didn't even have it written on his wrist or nothing. Yeah.
That's what's up. Let's get he's professional and he's ready.
Yeah.
I'm trying, man. So before you called in, we were just getting into a little bit of Ken Cash's beginnings. We were talking about, how last week when we were talking to Matthew Priest, how, he was talking about how Ken's always kind of had that underdog vibe to him and coming up, and he was talking about some of the stuff in the backyard with him and the Dread King Logan and Chase and Zane and even guys like the Pope. And,
You know what's funny? They came from a little place called UWF.
Yeah.
we were just talking about that.
You want to talk about full circle?
Hey, man, even more full circle. Lewis Linden, met him in that yard too. Dude, him and his brother
Wow.
Flip. Yeah. So full circle for sure.
Well, Tony, I've been flapping my gums for a little minute, so you got any questions for our guest here?
All right, so look,
Yeah.
if it was all right, so let's say that you all right, first of all right, that's the question.
All right.
okay.
All right. Gotcha.
The second question is, how do you feel about Daddy Yankee? Tell the people.
How do I feel about? Obviously, I am a big fan of music in general.
He
you
likes
know.
Gasolina
Dude,
too.
I do. That is a great song. Rumpe is obviously.
That was where I was going
entrance.
next.
Rumpe is obviously my entrance music. Another great song. Yeah, he's a good artist. Half the people don't know what he says. To be honest, I don't really even know what it says. I'm pretty sure it's very
You
vulgar.
do this like Lloyd Banks in the G Unit remix.
Yeah,
What it is.
hence why I use the G Unit remix, because at least then people can understand what's being said. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I like all music, man. I mean, you can look through my phone, man. It'll go from Taylor Swift all the way to
Lord,
all the way
he's
to
busting out the T
In
Swift.
This Moment to Hollywood Undead to, I mean, it goes all
Hollywood
over the place,
Undead.
man.
Okay, now we're going back a little bit.
Yeah, man, it goes a lot.
So
Say going back.
for
yeah,
me,
he
man,
said going back, dude.
I mean, it was for me.
How
Shit, I remember
about-
them coming out when I was in
How
like
about Africa? Or
elementary
something like
school or
that?
middle school when they
You know,
first come
Bobby
out.
Brown,
Toto
yeah,
by Africa.
Yeah. Oh
Africa
yeah.
by Toto?
Oh yeah. Yes, sir.
That's technically a Christmas song.
Don't
because it
disturb
only
this groove
rains
by the
in that part of
system, man.
Africa in the winter.
So
like
it,
music.
Around December.
so it's kind of funny that half the guys that you were just mentioning in that yard are all watching. Like, I mean, Chase Burnett's watching right now.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah.
And there's been a couple that have
Chase,
bounced
man,
in
I
and
am
out.
truly excited for that man to come back. You know, hopefully,
Absolutely.
hopefully, I am in as great a shape as he is when he comes back. Because man, that boy putting in some work. So
Hell
shout out
yeah,
to
man!
Chase,
Shout out
man.
to Chase, man.
Doing
We've
your
seen
thing,
you putting
brother.
in that work, and we saw in his post he was talking about he had like a 20-date deal or something like that. I have no doubt with your talent, dude, that once you come back, we're gonna see you right back where you're supposed to be.
dude.
So back to the matter at
Probably
hand.
even better.
Exactly. So back to the matter at
And that's
hand.
scary.
Yeah,
It
dude.
is.
It is, bro.
It
Especially
really
when
is.
You may be across the ring from him at some point in time. You know, it's like, yeah.
I mean, back to the matter at hand. So you were talking about how UWF was what you guys were calling the backyard thing. Well,
Yeah.
as we talk about UWF that's going down this Saturday.
Yes, sir. Oh,
You
man.
mentioned that you got a little history with your opponents. So
Yeah, oh,
first
yeah.
of all, for you getting back to your on a singles run here, what is it like for you to come down there and automatically be going for the belt down there,
Man.
bro? This is only what, your second show for them?
Second show, yeah, it's the second show. Last show I first took on Percy Drews, actually. Good guy.
Oh, yeah, baby, hot Percy.
Yeah, dude. That cat, he's a funny guy, man. He's a cool cat. Look out for him for sure. But this show, yeah, wow. To go for the championship, second show in with, obviously, I have a little bit of history with Lewis Linden. Nothing personal or nothing like that. I just, obviously, I've known him. I've seen him. I mean, he's been all over, traveled all over the world. Jack Verville, don't know too much about him, but, I do my research, so I have looked up some of his stuff to see what he's coming with, and obviously been around for a while. So, I mean, once again, coming in, probably the least experienced out of all of them for sure. Just hoping that I can hold my own and stick with him. I did my best against Adam Wick this past Saturday, and now this Saturday I'm going to do my best against these cats.
I mean, first of all, man, you're talking about doing your best and all those kind of things. I've watched you work, so there's no reason for you to be worried about how you're going to hang with these dudes.
Dude, you got some mad experience in there.
I mean,
I'm two guys,
right, but you've got that heart though, so you're going to be just fine in that. So
man, that's what keeps me going, man. I think that's what gives me a little bit of an upper edge is, you can keep hitting me and you keep putting me down, but I'm going to keep getting up, keep getting up.
So let's talk about that, though. So, it's not going to be just a one-on-one match, as we've mentioned. It's going to be a triple threat with you guys.
Yeah,
so
which actually may play into my
That's exactly what I was
there.
getting at.
Yeah.
So how do you feel – how does that impact your strategy for this match? And are you happy with the triple threat rules, or would you have rathered it be a one-on-one?
Oh, no, I'm all right. I mean, either way, I'm going to put my foot in someone's mouth, either way. But at this point in my career, going into a triple threat, that works out real nice for me because obviously I'm used to a tag. So there may be a moment when somebody might take me out real quick and I can go chill for a minute and recoup and wait for my moment to come back in when need be necessary. Or just slide up on in there and steal a win. You never know what could happen. I mean, it's this Saturday and I'm prepared. I know them cats are prepared, so we'll see what's going to happen, man.
So, Tony, you give me your thoughts on this match. Since you've got a little bit of skin in the game with this one, tell me what your thoughts are on Mr. Cash's match this Saturday. Tony?
Tony's on mute.
Yeah, I guess.
Tony was muted.
Anyway,
He muted himself.
Tony's been muted by himself.
Tony
I'm
muted.
back. Can you hear me?
He's back. All right.
I can hear you. So
listening to
what I'm
Jaden
asking
Smith.
is, since
There's
you've got a
no
little
doubt.
bit of skin in
I
the
heard
game,
the
what are your
question, I was
thoughts?
answering it, but see what happened was I'm halfway back from Florida, so I'm doing this on the road, as you see.
No,
But
can't see, but
basically, he's touched on everything. Lewis London has been in the game for a while. He's a legend in the independent circle in my eyes. He's went against the best of the best. Anybody from NXT you can name, he's put his hands on it and probably won. Jack Burville, he wins jiu-jitsu tournaments. Like, this guy's a real life badass.
legit.
I was going to say, Chase Burnett was throwing out that he's a legit brown belt,
Yeah.
so he's trying to give you some help here.
yeah, good looking out, Chase.
Appreciate
Good looking
you,
out.
Burnett.
Yeah.
Coltrane's
This is Chase Burnett's favorite
I know he
MMA
don't
and
play,
pro wrestling
man. I mean, I
podcast.
know he don't
Also
play. That's
WWA
another one.
Fox's
Coltrane,
favorite
man.
pro
Grew up
wrestling
with.
and MMA podcast.
That is a fact that this is Chase's favorite MMA and wrestling podcast. I don't know about the other guys, but I can confirm that.
Vivica A. Fox told me herself that this was her favorite pro wrestling and MMA podcast.
So I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty funny. So the story behind that is we were watching the fights, man, and she I tweeted up about that Connor, and she retweeted and liked it out, and a bunch of fools got on it, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah,
I thought it was a
see,
joke
I
at
was
first
like,
until
wow.
I saw the blue check mark, and I'm like, well, that's kind of cool.
That's
I
all
guess.
right, man. That's all right. Vivica, hey, nothing wrong
Really,
with that.
Vivica A. Fox
Right.
shouting out the podcast.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. I mean, the proof is there, but what?
It's her favorite MMA and pro wrestling podcast next to Chase Burnett. Chase Burnett, let me tell y'all about Chase Burnett, all right?
Oh boy,
Y'all
man.
already know.
Yeah, man.
I do.
That man
That's-
knocked me out, bro.
Back to the
Cold.
match. What happened?
I said I had that man knock me out cold, man. I know all about that boy.
He's dangerous with his legs and knees.
Yeah, he
Even
is,
when
man.
they're injured, he fucking crack your skull with him.
So, Tony, we talked a little bit about the title match with Mr. Cash. What are some other things that, since with what's going on this weekend, what are some other things that you personally are looking forward to on this card that's going to be for UWF?
Well, I'm gonna put myself over and say that
That, obviously. I just couldn't remember your opponent
Pack
on there.
versus
But
Pack match, man. It's the Rat Pack going against the Rat Pack for the first time since we have banded back together against all odds. And we got Ricky Tulips, aka Eric King, trying to take us out the game again already by putting us against each other. So, steel sharpens steel. We're definitely going to test each other out there and see, who deserves to be tag team champion.
There you go. I'll tell you one I'm looking forward to, boy. Speaking of Percy, that boy Percy against the
And
War
War
Boy.
Boy.
Yeah, man, that's boy, that's gonna be. I feel sorry for Percy. Dude,
I've been seeing a
boy,
lot of.
Here's my
you
thing,
about to get
everybody
lit up.
always underestimate Percy,
Dude,
you know,
and
that
hey,
kid
man,
is
I almost
strong.
did.
You know, he got trained by Congo Kong and also the Chris brothers,
Yeah,
Dave
man,
and Jay
he's
Chris. So
strong,
that kid
man.
definitely
he's,
has been
he's
hit.
going places, bro.
He knows what to expect from Dre Jacobs, and you can tell he's nervous. You know, from the
Oh yeah, but I mean, Dre's gonna light him up, and I think he knows that. I think he understands. Like, oh man, this is about to be a brawl.
So
that's
I've
what I'm
only
looking
seen
forward to.
Dre work in front of me, I think once or twice, but the one that I remember, he had a match for XICW. It was actually at their show at the Masonic Temple.
Oh, okay.
Holy shit. That dude beat the shit out of the guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh yeah, you don't play.
he
I
beat
mean,
the shit out of the guy that he went against.
you gonna come
So-
out with a name like the War Boy. He's
Right.
He's
so
coming at you.
I can't
bro.
really say a whole lot about Percy because I don't know much about him. But what I do know is from what I've seen from Jerry Jacobs, man, if you ain't ready,
Yeah, dude.
that boy
Percy-
might just slap your head off.
Yeah, Percy's got something coming to him. You know,
He
you don't
definitely
have to watch
does.
it.
I'm looking forward to that one as well.
Yeah,
That's
man.
to me, that's going to be a highlight of the night, and probably a sleeper match of the night that people aren't expecting to be a standout. It's definitely going to be one of the best matches.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
So,
I mean,
you know, with you getting this shot here at the title for UWF, you know, and you mentioned
honored. Thank you.
hey man, I hope you come back with that belt.
Hey, that'd be you know. that'd
I
be
hope
great.
you come back with that belt. Straight up. I'm
Hey,
putting it out in the universe
I
now.
wouldn't
Ken
be-
Cash is
I
about to
wouldn't
come
be
back with
mad.
that belt.
I wouldn't be mad at myself.
So,
Let's just say that.
I don't know how it's going to happen. I'm not going to pull a Connor and call a finish or anything. But,
Yeah, because
I mean, I'm just going
nobody's
to.
seen that. Nobody's seen that. Coming
Right.
At 40 seconds.
And first of all, fuck Stephen A. Smith. I'm just going to say that. That fool ain't got
Oh,
no
man.
business covering MMA. For anybody to say.
Despicable.
For anybody to say
How you
that
said
Cowboy's
despicable.
performance was atrocious like that when the man's nose got broke in the first 10 seconds of the
dude.
fight, I mean,
Like,
you
Stephen A.
just
Smith, get your
showed.
nose broke for it.
I literally, bro, if you look at our
Twitter
Twitter, which you should be at KO3C
with a
Pod.
shoulder at that with your
Right.
with the
Well, that's
shoulder.
the thing. For those that don't know, I mean, shoulder strikes are really to keep the judges so that they know that you're still being active. And if you're in the clinch, you're supposed to use shoulder strikes in order for you to make space, whether that's to, you know, make a frame or to separate or to whatever. But if you watch them, the second one broke Donald Cerrone's nose, and then the
Hard.
third one went right into his eye socket. So,
Game over,
look,
man.
all I'm saying is if you can't breathe, you can't fight.
You can't see. You only got one eye, man. I mean, you
Like,
done.
I mean, that's just what it is. So, Stephen A. Smith, I'm gonna need you to, get socked in the nose a few times, and then let's see how
It's
you
just
do.
so disrespectful for you to say something like that.
That's what I said. I mean, if you see all the memes and pictures of Joe Rogan in DC looking at him like a complete jackass, I mean, that pretty much tells you everything you need to see. But yeah, I digress. With that being said, you were talking about before Tony got on about, you being primarily a tag wrestler.
Yeah.
You're going to be going
Yeah.
for a title here. What does being in a match like this do for you when you come back to, say, a BCWA or anywhere else around here in Michigan? I mean, does it give you, is it butterflies? Is it giving you that more confidence? Or, like, where do you see yourself in the singles realm now that you're kind of starting to get your feet in the water here?
If anything, it's gonna give me a little more experience. I mean, I'm gonna get in the ring with two guys who are way, way, way more experienced than I am, and every time I get into a ring with anybody, no matter who it is, man, I'm absorbing experience from everybody. I'm trying to absorb experience from referees, from managers, from other workers. That's what you do. You absorb information. So, I mean, if anything, when I come back to my next show at BCWA, I'm going to have a little more experience, be a little more polished, So every match I'm just going to get a little bit better, a little bit more polished, man. That's the way it is, and hopefully I get shined up real nice and bring home some shine with me on Saturday, go into Sunday, the Royal Rumble at my boy's house, chilling with the new title on my waist.
What do you mean at your boy's house, bro? Where people
yeah, you
need
got
to
your-
be,
yes, you got
where
the
people
B-Dubs thing. I'm
need
sorry,
to be
man.
this Sunday.
I'm sorry.
Is the B-Dubs party
Yes.
downtown Detroit, Buffalo Wild
Yeah.
Wings. We're gonna
That's
be.
what he meant. He meant that's his home. That's where his homie stayed. That's his homie's house.
Look,
Yeah,
we're
he stays at
look
Buffalo
here,
B-Dubs.
look here. We're doing
Stays at the B-Dubs. Which one are you staying? Which one are you going
the
to?
Detroit
Detroit
one
B-Dubs.
downtown, right
Yep,
next
that's
to Old
where he
Shillelagh.
stays, man.
We're gonna
Right
be.
next to it,
We've
yep.
got the whole
The
upstairs
dumpster.
out, so it's not going to be a 21 and up thing like it is for some of the
Oh,
other
okay.
pay-per-views. It's a kid-friendly thing.
Oh,
We're
that's
going to be
cool.
giving away, signed stuff from other BCWA alum, Allison Kay, the NWA Women's Champion.
Nice.
We're going to be giving away T-shirts.
Hey, there you go.
We're going to be
There's
giving
another
away title
BCWA
belts.
original.
We're going to be giving away tickets. We're going to be giving away T-shirts. We're going to be giving all kinds of things away. We're teaming up with the boys from Breaking Down the Ring at
I
BDR
hope, you
Cast.
guys, I hope you guys didn't give away my personal autograph 8x10 of Mike Blackwell because that's mine.
Oh,
I
that
hope
wouldn't
you
be.
guys aren't giving that away.
You probably shouldn't. If you can't give
So
away
what had
property, that's
happened
like
was,
yours.
That's my personal 8x10 autograph Mike Blackwell picture.
well, you should have kept it at the house.
Yeah.
And while we're talking about
Fold it up,
houses,
put it in the wallet.
while we're talking about houses, if you're not going to be
yeah.
in the house at
Oh.
B-Dubs and you're going to be watching
Get
it at a
yourself a
house
house.
and you're looking to get an even nicer house, hit up
plug.
the homies at Stransky and Company. Stransky and Company is the top producing real estate company. You can find them.
Neighbor out.
I got you, bro. You can find them at Stransky and Company on Instagram and Twitter.
need no paper.
You can find them at 248-563-9449 or email them at admin@stranskyandcompany.com. If you follow any of our social medias, you've seen some of their listings. They've come out with 3 new listings this week. So you need to be checking them out.
Yes.
They're the homies. They're putting out nice houses, man. Good quality work, and they're solid dudes. So if you're in the market for a house, Stransky and Company is your one-stop shop for a great house. That being said,
Man.
we're hoping to have a great house this Sunday, B-Dubs,
There
for
you
the
go.
Royal Rumble. Before we get on to the Royal Rumble real quick, one more time, Tony, I'm going to get to you in 1 second, but Ken, give us your last thoughts on your match this weekend and let everybody know where it's going to be at, what time, all that good stuff.
Oh man, we out here this Saturday, the January 25th, out in South Bend, Indiana. We will be hanging out for the UWF, and your boy Ken Cash will be taking on Lewis Linden and Jack Verville, and be coming home with that gold. I'm hoping. If not, I'm gonna get a little experience, but. If
You're bringing the gold home, man.
Dude,
Put that shit out
I
in
don't
the
want to be
universe.
overconfident, but I mean,
It ain't overconfident. You're putting it out in the universe, bro.
I'm hungry and I'm coming for that gold, boy. So I hope them boys is ready. I'm sure they will be.
There it is.
I mean, I'm sure they will be. There's no doubt about it. So I'm driving a long distance, man. I ain't coming there for nothing. That's all I gotta say.
There it is.
Tony, let them know where they can find.
Hey, look, also we got a.
I was gonna say, let
Y'all
them
can
know where they
find
can
me on
find
social
tickets and
medias.
stuff.
Yep. Okay. Y'all can find me on the social medias as Tony Thunder.
Bam, that boy.
Follow your boy Chase Burnett. Follow Mike Blackwell because I'm gonna need another autograph, personal 8x10.
That's what it sounded like. Cause
Ricky
it's
Tulip's
gone.
trying to turn the pack against each other. We ain't letting that happen.
No, I didn't do
You can find Mysterious Movado will be in action. King Cash will
That
be in
boy.
action. Lewis London, Jack Burville, both members of War Inc. Man, so much great talent. Jack Sodell, TK0, Chris Gordon, who is fresh from the House of Truth, maybe 2 or 3 years in the game. He's another kid you got to watch out for. Percy Drews.
That boy.
Man, I'm excited about what's going to happen.
Good
and I'm
show,
really looking
man.
forward
It's a
to it.
good show.
Ken Cash, your fans are up here in the chat, man. You've got Aaron Johns is shouting you out, talking about good luck,
What's
Mr.
good?
Cash.
What's going on?
You got Judas Coltrane talking about
boy
do your thing,
Judas.
Mr.
Good,
Cash, man.
man.
So
That boy
so
Judas.
you've got some support here, man.
Hey, much love. Thank you all very much. And I'm hoping to bring home this gold. We'll see what good.
So Tony, Ken told us that the thing that got him into wrestling happened to be the Royal Rumble 1990.
Only one of the 2
So-
pay-per-views I still watch, man.
My question to you is, first of all, what was your favorite Royal Rumble? And
Oh,
why?
man.
It's tough, man.
Okay. And part 2 is what?
We'll get to that. I got to hear the first part before it's going to form the second part.
Man, that's tough. Just off the top of my head, the first one I think about is was that 2008 with Benoit versus Angle. That match has been circulating a lot recently, and that match is just beautiful, man. Just
Dude.
beautiful.
What about 2004 when he won the Rumble?
It went quiet
man,
for a
Bacon
minute.
had
Is
a
that
great
weird?
Run coming in as
It went
It really
quiet for a
did,
second,
though.
dude.
It
went
really
quiet
did. I
for
was
a
like,
second,
damn.
bro. It's,
Shit, we got heat with Chris Benoit too, apparently.
No, we
quiet for a
don't.
second.
We can say the name. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, hey, it is what it is, man. But we're heading into the Royal Rumble this weekend. So as we sit, there's been a few rumors as to who's going to come in, who people are speculating to be the surprise entrant. But the one guy that we know that's going to be in there for sure is going to be your reigning, defending, undisputed WWE champion, Brock Lesnar. So, first of all, I want both of your thoughts on what you think about the champ going into the Royal Rumble. Ken Cash, since you're the guest, you first.
All right, man. Look, Brock's Brock. I mean, you know, until somebody could come in and literally beat him, I think he's going to be the top guy. Personally, if I want to see him, I would rather see him in a UFC cage opposed to a ring anymore. That's just my personal opinion. So I would love to see him get tossed out. I personally just always wanted to see a Rumble where just some rando won. Like somebody they brought back from like the 60s just comes in and just dips everybody. You know, just random, you know. That's all I always wanted, just like The Godfather. How many Rumbles the Godfather been in? Like every Rumble.
lot.
Just let The Godfather come in one time, you know, last day, boom, just tip somebody out. Why not? You know, why not? You know, Brock's in there. He's going to hold whatever. Man, I don't know who's going to win. You know, I always just pick a number and hope that I win because then I win money from it. So that's cool.
That being said, also at the party this weekend, we're going to have where you can pick your number. And if your number wins, you know, we got more prizes to go with that. All the more reason you need to be there
back,
this weekend.
Man, I won both the females and males.
Look at you,
Nakamura
man.
And Asuka.
That was the year Kyle won when we were at Bailey's.
It was nice, man. It was nice. I won $40.
Tony, what about you, man? What do you think about Brock being in the Rumble as the champ? Uh-oh.
Did somebody say Chris
Listen,
Benoit?
You're breaking up.
You are breaking it terribly.
We can't hear you, sir. Yeah, his shit was messing
yeah.
up. So
I don't know
I'm
what he said.
going to get to my thoughts on this. So for me, man, at first I was like, yo, this is just dumb because why are you putting the champion in the Rumble, much less it being Brock
Only
Lesnar,
way you can
because
keep
that
him
tells
strong,
you, and right,
you know,
and it tells you up front that he's going to make it to the, I would imagine he's going to make it to at least the Final Four.
But big surprise. How shocking would that be? He gets dipped out within the first couple of things. I mean, that's the only way you're going to beat him, right?
Tony, is your connection working?
I'm going to say that's a no.
No.
I'm going to say that's no.
Anyways, yeah. So it's interesting to me, right? Like I think
He broke it.
John and Aaron John said to tell you, Tony, that John Cena is not the greatest of all time. Just so you know. But that being said, I mean, for me, at first I was like, "Why? Come on, bro! Like, really?
It makes sense.
That's
to
what
me,
we're
man.
doing." But then the more I thought about it, to be honest, I really only like it because it's something different.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different ways I could see this breaking up.
I mean, what was the last? Well, Roman a couple years back.
Yeah,
didn't
but
he
that
do
was
it?
different. That was to win the title. They stripped
Yeah.
him to the
Oh,
title.
okay, yeah,
that's
right. Yeah.
different.
He's the champ.
Brock's
coming
going in as the champion.
Gotcha.
And here's the other kicker. What if he wins? Then what? So what is he going to go challenge? Is he going to go challenge the Fiend?
Yeah, that'd be the only person to be able to, right?
Right. That's why I'm saying. So what are you going to do? You're gonna unify the
Yeah.
titles? So
I mean,
the
I don't see him doing that. I don't see him unifying.
my personal
That's for
thought,
sure.
and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. My personal thought is that we're going to see whomever may be one of those surprises that are going to come back. I feel like Brock might run through people up to about the last 4 or the last 5. And I feel like in the last 5 picks, there's going to be at least one guy who ends up being a surprise. If I've got to lay my hat on it, from everything I've been hearing, I feel like we might see an Edge sighting.
I have heard of the rumors about him coming through. But
I mean, they're just rumors, but
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, I would totally, if Edge comes out, I'll definitely pop. No,
Oh yeah, I mean because he was
I never
supposedly
thought he was
done,
gonna
you
wrestle
know?
again.
Yeah, he
you know,
wasn't
and
supposed
like
to, right?
the thing is, we were talking before we went on the air
That'd be
about
cool.
going to WrestleManias and things like that, dude. I was at the WrestleMania where he broke his neck again.
Oh, yeah.
That was the one here in Detroit when Jeff had him across the ladder, and they were, in between the ring and the barricade, and he jumped off the 20-foot ladder, and the ladder just folded, and the whole match just stopped. Like, they all stopped talking. They all just stopped talking, period. Like, nobody moved. Nobody was nothing. And so to see him come back, I think would be really cool.
Oh, yeah, big good feeling pop. Oh, yeah.
I hope it happens. But, I mean, I don't know, man. So it's going to be an interesting one for me. For me, as far as Royal Rumbles, which one I would say is the most memorable one for me, would be, this is going to be a pick that maybe most people wouldn't look at, but for me, it would be Royal Rumble 1998.
Okay.
And that was the one where Vince McMahon was in the Rumble, and Austin and him
Oh,
were
when
one
he
and
was
two.
1 and 2.
So that was it for me, because I remember where I was at when I watched that. And, like, to see that, and then at the end when The Rock came out and screwed over Austin, man, I was mad as shit as a kid, because I've been an Austin guy since I was a kid.
Right.
And so for me, I like that one even more now so that I'm older, because I liked that there was a story throughout the show, right? Like, so it started with them fighting back and forth through the thing. Then they fought back through the crowd and into the women's bathroom. And then Austin got
It was more than just, hey, grab the guy, throw him out.
right. And so, and for me,
there was something more.
For me, bro, that's what I feel like is missing right now, man.
Something more.
Right. Like, to me,
story.
I think that's why NXT's been so much better, bro, because they got stories. They got straight up stories, bro. And they're long and drawn out, and they make sense. To me, I think that's something that's kind of...
Well, I mean, they're trying to do stories right on Raw. It's just the stories nobody cares about, like pregnancy storylines and stuff
Dude,
like that.
oh
that
my God,
nonsense
don't
that they
even
were
get me
doing, dude.
started with that shit.
That was just terrible, right?
I hope to God that they stop this shit with Rusev and Lana. I'm just going to say that. But I digress with that. As far as the rest of the Rumble, so that covers the men's Rumble. If I'm picking somebody to win, I think I'm going to go wild card pick on that one. And I'm going to go Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre. Then who does he face? Who does he go against? Brock?
I think he stays on Raw.
Yeah.
I think he stays on Raw.
I mean, Kevin Owens is hot right now.
Yeah, I don't see him winning the Rumble, though, because I feel like they're going to keep that thing with him and Seth going.
Yeah, they're too invested in that.
So I don't see that. For me,
I think of Buddy Murphy joining them, man. I liked that.
I did too.
Finally did something with him. I always liked Buddy.
Did too.
Yeah, I like Buddy Murphy.
I did too. I did too. I think I liked it, but at the same time, it was also, why the fuck did they put the titles on him and Seth? Why did AOP not get the tag titles,
yeah,
bro?
right. Why did you not put your
that makes no
dominant tag titles?
sense, man.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm AOP, I'm sitting there
are
like,
they trying to freebird it with 4 guys?
Well, my
and just
thing is, why
any
the
of
fuck
them can defend?
Why the fuck does Seth Rollins need a tag title?
He doesn't.
Even if you're gonna put it on Buddy Murphy, like what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? What the fuck does Seth need it for?
Nothing.
I'm sorry.
Right.
Like,
no,
I mean,
it.
I thought it should have been AOP, but
Yeah.
if I'm gonna go with
Why
anybody,
not put the tag team over that's been a tag team since
bro.
day one?
and they've already been champs before, but hey, what do I know? Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre on that. Do you have a pick for the Rumble?
The Godfather. He's going to be in it, and the Godfather is going to win.
So, like I said, I kind of see it being one of those things that if I'm picking one, I'll pick Drew McIntyre, but I also kind of feel like it's going to get down to the Final Four, and I feel like whomever that surprise might be is going to come out.
Let's just hope it's not that leaked WrestleMania card and it'd be Tyson Fury. Dude, let's just hope.
Christ.
God
They've already
it's not
said that
Tyson
Cain
versus-
Velasquez is in there.
Oh, boy.
They've already said Kane's in there, so you know they're
Yeah.
going to lock up at some point.
And, I mean, you haven't seen him in a while, so I bet he's going to come in. He's going to do some work.
I hope so,
Toss the
because,
cats
man,
around.
that didn't go
Sure.
well at that
was
did
flat.
not go
It
well
was
at Crown
flat.
Jewel, dude.
Yeah, it was flat.
That did not go well. Also, you got the women's Royal Rumble. I think Charlotte Flair is going to win that. I'm just going to.
I think What's-Her-Face is coming back.
Who?
Who's been missing for...
Ember Moon?
Ember Moon, yeah. The girl, the blonde chick. Liv Morgan, was she the one?
She's been
missing? No,
back.
the one that was supposed to be Sister Abigail for Bray. God, which one was it? I don't know.
I'm not sure on that one.
And all types of stuff. I don't know, man. I stopped watching a long time ago.
It seems like Chase Burnett is on the same page with me. He's over here talking about Team McIntyre. He also says he's Team Darby, and he says he's Team Godfather. But really, who wasn't Team Godfather, bro?
Dude, Godfather, come on, man. Give him something. You know, when's the last time? Every time he comes in, he gets right in the ring. Somebody knocks him out. Give him something,
bro.
Give the Godfather.
That's what I'm saying,
dude.
bro. That's what I'm
Godfather,
saying. But
Royal Rumble
honestly,
winner, 2020.
Honestly, bro, one of the things I'm looking forward to most, and I think this is one of the few stories that they've had on Raw and SmackDown, I think, that have been halfway decent, is I'm really intrigued by the whole Becky Asuka thing. Because having Becky come out and say, look, I want this match because she's the only one that's been able to beat me, and I don't want to do anything else if I can't beat her.
Yeah,
I think that that's good storytelling.
It is.
Although
It is.
I wish
they needed something for sure.
I just wish they would let Asuka just be the killer. Stop with all the other shit. Just let her come in. Don't say nothing. Say just enough of what you have to, and that's it.
Just
you don't
beat people up.
You don't need her to say nothing because when she was on that run, bro, she didn't talk.
No. Yep.
And not that I'm saying she can't talk.
No.
I'm just saying, like, yo, like that's kind of part of the mystique.
Right.
Like to me, I'd like to see that. As far as who I think's going to win that one, I hate to say it, but I don't see Asuka winning that. I think Becky's going to win that. But I think if they're going to try to make Asuka, back into a main event player, that would be a great way to do so.
I mean, when she first came in, she was on fire.
She was great.
Going.
In NXT and the main roster.
And then it was out of nowhere, I guess.
Right, and then like once she lost to Charlotte, it was like flump.
Yeah.
And so for me, that one I'm really intrigued to see where that goes. Another one that I'm looking forward to on that one is going to be, just because I think it'll be a good match because of who's in it, Daniel Bryan versus The Fiend.
Oh yeah, that's going to be
fire. And
hard hitting for
thank
sure.
God that they finally have kind of played into the whole fact that they had the whole Wyatt family story and all that. Because God, I hate when they just act like the shit just didn't happen. I hate that with a.
Are they doing the red light thing still? Is that still a thing for every time he wrestles? Just have that red light on the whole time.
I hate that red light.
I personally don't like it.
So
it's
a cool.
I get it. I get what you're trying to go for, but
it's a cool effect. But it takes away from it because you're like, I feel like you're too focused on the red light.
I don't like watching 3D movies, man, because of that red and blue and all that. It's like, man, I don't like it.
So in other words, we don't need to take Ken Cash to the IMAX, is what you're saying.
Basic theater, man.
We do not need to take Ken Cash to the IMAX.
Big screen, regular theater.
Yeah,
red throws me off, man.
As far as the match itself, man, I think that match is going to be great.
Oh yeah,
I think it's got
hard hitting, brutal for sure.
I agree. I think
beat the shit out of each other.
Oh right, and the thing is, I mean, Bray, if anything else, can take a beating, and he'll be a good guy for Daniel Bryan to bounce off of. And so I think that match is going to be good. Other than that, man, I mean, for me, it's always.
I just care about the match,
right?
The Royal Rumble match. I mean,
really, that's what I was about to say.
Like,
realistically, bro, like to me, this is really like a 3-match card. Yeah. Really, you've got Bray and Bryan. You got the both Royal Rumbles match, so technically 4. Yeah. So you've got the women's and men's Royal Rumble, and that's really it. So it's a 4-match card for me. But
But I mean, the Royal Rumble is what sells it. So I love the Royal Rumble.
I gotta say, man,
even when there was no network, I would still rent and get on pay-per-view.
Well, the Rumble's always fun to watch just because you don't know who's coming out.
Exactly, like The Godfather.
Yo, Ken Cash is lobbying super hard for The Godfather right now.
Dude, if he comes out, I'm gonna freak out. He's
so
probably gonna get tossed right away.
When he comes out and the whole train comes with him, well, I don't know if they'll let that happen.
Well, they generally stay at the end of the ramp, and then he comes down, and then they just wait there for him because he goes right back out and right back to him. So,
I don't know that we're going to see that in 2020.
You never know, man.
I feel like
you never know.
I feel like he could come out, but I don't think we're going to see that.
I liked Papa Shango, too. He wants to pull that out. I liked him. I was a Papa Shango fan.
So with that being said, we've given our picks on it. I think, like I said, if I'm making a pick for the Rumble, I'm going to go Drew McIntyre for the men's Rumble. For the women's Rumble, I'm going Charlotte Flair. I think Bray is going to keep the title over Bryan.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
So
sure.
who are you taking in the women's one? Are you going Ember Moon? Is that who you're going with?
No, I mean it makes sense. You're probably gonna go Becky. I mean Becky's probably gonna win, right?
Win the Rumble?
Or oh wait, she's not even in it. My bad.
No, she's facing Asuka. I think she's keeping
I would like
the strap.
to see. I mean, who else are they pushing? How about Rhea Ripley comes?
I like
NXT,
Rhea Ripley.
dude,
I
just
love Rhea
takes it.
Ripley, bro.
That'd
I
be
don't.
sweet.
I think it would
I'd
be.
be happy
I mean,
with
I would be.
but
That
no,
would be
that's
great.
okay.
I just hope that we see a lot of the NXT guys in the Rumble. That's another thing. I hope that we see.
NWA women's NWA World Champion right now. Allison Kay joins in. Tosses everybody out.
Yeah, I'd like to see that, but something tells me
That's probably not gonna
That's
happen.
probably
Let's
not going to
be
happen.
honest. It's
Shout
not.
out to AK. Every time we see you, we're always talking about getting you on the show, so that's definitely got to happen. I'd like to see Finn Balor come into the Rumble.
Yeah.
And Indiana Saturday bell time. So Aaron Johns is letting us know UWF, the premier fed in northern Indiana, Saturday bell time 7:00. They have a bar. They got a bar on the premises. Jello shots are only $1, man. You can
They're
you can
good.
have
I had some last time. They're good.
you can have you a good old time. UWF Indiana, okay? Our very own Tony Thunder is going to be there. Our guest Ken Cash
boy.
is going to be there.
Gonna be there.
I mean, dude,
Taking
like I
that
said,
title home. Sorry, I'm gonna.
if it
sorry,
weren't for
Indiana.
the fact that I've got these gimmicks called bills to pay, I would love to come out there and come check out the show. I've already told Tony I got to make my way out to UWF at some point. With that being said, Randy's kind of letting us know that it's getting time for us to go home. That being said, if you're in the Detroit area, or hell, even if you're not, make sure you come out this Sunday, Royal Rumble Party, Buffalo Wild Wings, Detroit, Michigan, right next to the Old Shillelagh. It's on Randolph. No cover, no nothing. Kids are welcome. Saturday, the day before that, if you want to see some live wrestling, make sure you're at UWF. See our guest. Go out there, bring him some gold back, and then when you come back, I'm just gonna put this out there. We have a habit of people having some big shit happen after they get on the show. I mean, case in point, Shayna Baszler got signed right when we were trying to do that.
Oh man.
You had,
Oh, don't put no pressure on me now.
you had. Let's see, there was Shayna Baszler, Matt Riddle. Let's see who else got signed by NXT. Austin Theory, past guest of the show, has been killing it on NXT. We were just talking to Mercedes Martinez like 2 weeks ago, and now she's in WWE.
Yep.
So, I mean, look, I'm not saying it's because of knockouts and 3 counts or anything, but
hey, man, there might be a good luck.
we're just going to throw this out
coming
here.
in
You
here.
were on the show with us. You're going to bring some gold home.
Yeah.
So
Can
one
only
more
hope.
time before we get out of here, man, let them know where they can find you on social media,
Ken
and make
Cash,
sure you're
Facebook,
following
boy.
UWF as well, man.
UWF, yes. Hey, man, you can catch me at any BCWA show. Original, always there. Catch me this Saturday at UWF, and hopefully come soon, many more places. So we'll see you out there, and it'll be a good time. Bring home this gold this Saturday, boy.
That being said, man, you can follow the show Knockouts and 3 Counts Podcast on Facebook, at KO3C Pod on Instagram and Twitter, on YouTube, Knockouts and 3 Counts Podcast. Like and subscribe to that shit. We can't explain to you how important that is. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Detroit Knockout, at Detroit NOKOUT. Shout out to Stransky and Company one more time. And yeah, man, I've flapped my gums enough on here.
Hey, been a pleasure, man.
I
Been a
mean,
pleasure.
thank you so much for your time,
yeah.
brother, man. Thank you for
yeah.
coming on. If you're in the area, check out either of these shows. And next week, be on the lookout as we bring on Mando Gutierrez. He's one of the top prospects in the area. He'll be the co-main event, Lights Out, Deltaplex Arena, February 8th. You've got Melvin Gillard is fighting on that card. Past guest of the show, Kenny Cross is in the main event. He's fighting for a title. We've got all kinds of stuff. And speaking of Finn Balor, you see, I'm starting to get good with these transitions because Mando has cut Finn Balor's hair. He's cut Sheamus's hair.
Nice.
We're going to talk about all that. So
hair to
all
cut,
the
too, boy.
more reason you need to tune in next week and check out our episode on Lights Out Fighting. With that said, until next week, have fun. Peace.